welcome back to the channel. So today we are doing a reading vlog. This is a reading vlog for the Butcher and Blackbird series, and I've got the second book, which is Leather and Lark, and I've also got Scythe and Sparrow. So before I actually start on Leather and Lark, I have decided to reread just the final chapter of Butcher and Blackbird because it's been about a year since I originally read it. So I just want to read the last chapter to refresh what was going on. So I've put the bookmark in for the last chapter, and that is what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to sit and read the last chapter before I jump into the second book. So these are the three books in the series. So we've got Butcher and Blackbird, which is book 1 that I'm about to read the final chapter of. We'll then go over onto Leather and Lark, and we will end with Scythe and Sparrow. So let's just reread the final chapter of this book. So I'm just reading the final chapter of this book, and just reading it is like making the whole book come flooding back to me. So I'm really glad that I've decided just to do the reread on the final chapter. But my God, I forgot how much spice was in this book. Whew. Obviously, I'm not going to give like huge spoilers or anything, and I'm certainly not going to go into graphic detail. I do not want my video banned, but let's just say they're in the bedroom. And he's dressed in a dragon costume. Like, really? To me, that is absolutely crazy that people would do that. Like, I've heard of people cosplaying, but cosplaying in the bedroom? It just, they're weird. They're very weird. So, Sloane, who is Blackbird, has just gone off for a weekend away with the girls because it's just before she gets married to Rowan. So I think this is like her girly weekend away with the friends. So literally, she's just been in the bedroom cosplaying with him in a dragon costume, and then she's had a quick shower, and she is now off to Cape Cod with her friends for a weekend away. I actually forgot how exciting this chapter of the book was. So, like, Sloane and her friend Lark and Anna, they're in this massage parlour at this retreat that they've gone to for like her hen weekend, I guess you could call it. And they start talking to her about whether this place that they're staying in would be like the ideal place for her wedding. And then she says she likes it. Both the girls suddenly announce that they'll be right back in the middle of a massage and they need to go to the loo. Then, because Sloane then gets left on her own, the person who's doing the massage then says that she'll be right back and says that she needs to get some more oil. And she basically sort of like mutters, "Thank you." Here's a bit of rustling in the background. And then someone starts massaging her back. And then all of a sudden, someone asks her, "How's the pressure?" And it says, a very familiar voice, one that definitely not the masseuse. I spun around and come face to face with no other than Rowan Kane. What the ever-living... Hey, Blackbird. This is so exciting. So she asks him what on earth he's doing there, and his response is, "Oh, I don't know. I just thought maybe we could get married this weekend. Seems kind of like a nice spot." I'm literally right at the end of this chapter now, ready for the next book, but I just have to read this passage because it is adorable, and it's like really, really how I like felt on my wedding day. I got married like last month. So it says, as the minutes tick down and my hair and makeup is done and the dress is on, the storm concentrates to the depth of my heart and it lives there in every beat. And as I take Lachlan's offered arm and wait by his side for the doors to open, once they do, we will walk down the deck that's bathed in the morning light. We will take the stone path where Ronan waits on the sand cliffs overlooking the sea, and then I'll marry my best friend, the love of my life. Like, oh my God, that is literally how I felt when I was walking down the aisle to marry Jamie. I felt like I was heading towards my best friend and the love of my life, and that little paragraph, oh, it just made me so happy. Time to start book 2. So this is Leather and Lack. So let's make a start. I'll talk to you in a bit. I'm going to give you a really, really quick glance at the content and trigger warnings for this book. So here's a really quick glance. That's all you're getting. You'll have to pause it if you want to know what it says. I have a confession to make. It is now the 22nd of November and I have completely failed to keep you updated on my current reading challenge. So I'm going to quickly run through what I've got through so far. So last time I spoke to you, I was just starting Leather and Lack. Absolutely loved this book. I finished it. It was fantastic. And I then jumped straight into book 3 in this series, which is Scythe and Sparrow. Now, this one I loved more. So Leather and Lack was good. I did love it, but I only gave it 4 stars. This one, though, on the other hand, I gave it a full 5 stars. This one is absolutely fantastic and it ties in with the events from the previous book, and I really liked the way they intertwined these 2 books. So absolutely loved this one. So I'd read my first book and this is my second book. I've also read and finished The Silent Patient. This book, guys, if you haven't read it yet, because I know I'm late to the party and all of you have probably read this by now, but this book is absolutely fantastic. I loved this book. I could barely put this book down. So yeah, this book was definitely a full 5 stars. It's really good. I'm not going to give any spoilers away, but if you haven't read this book yet, please go and read it. It is fantastic. Then I read the second book in the Thursday Murder Club series, and that's The Man Who Died Twice. Now, this book I really enjoyed. I absolutely flew through this book. It was so fun. I think so far this is, like I say, this is the second book. So far I am still very much enjoying the Thursday Murder Club. And that brings me on to the third book, and that is The Bullet That Missed, and I am currently reading this. I'm about a quarter of the way through, so I'm on chapter 20 at this moment in time. So out of all the books that were on my list, I have currently read 1, 2, 3, 4, and I am on book 5. So that is as far as I've got in regards to the reading so far. I do not think I'm going to hit the target. I knew I'd set my bar very, very high, but I'm ploughing through. I've still got 2 more Thursday Murder Club books to read, and then I've got the Good Girl's Guide to Murder books to read, and a bonus book is, I think it was Gone Girl. I think that's my bonus book. So yeah, that's what I've watched. What the hell? That's what I've read so far this month. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm on book number 5 that are on my list so far. So I'll let you know when I finish book number 5 and we'll see how much further I can get. But I have literally got 8 days left in this challenge, so we will see how it goes. I will try my best to make sure I check in daily for the next 8 days, and we'll see how long it takes me to read book 3 in the Thursday Murder Club. So I'll see you in a bit.
next day.
Okay guys, it is officially the last day of November and I am still on A Bullet That Missed. I have just got to part 3 of the book and there is literally 21 chapters left. That's all I have left to read, is this little bit here. So I'm genuinely hoping that I finish this book tonight. I'll let you know how it goes. Hi everyone, it's the next morning. It is officially the 1st of December today. I finished the book last night, so that is my 2-month reading challenge officially completed. I clearly didn't get through the whole list and it was obvious I wasn't going to get through the whole list, but I think I did really, really well and got through quite a lot of the books, considering that it was, I say 2 months, but it was actually more like a month and a half that I gave myself to read these books. So yeah, I'm officially finished. So I've just finished reading The Bullet That Missed, and that was a really good book actually. I really enjoyed that one. There are 2 more books left in the Thursday Murder Club series, and I'll probably get into them in the new year because I now have to pick my Christmas reading books, and I think a lot of them are going to be on Kindle for this month. Most of them will be. But I will let you know. My next video will be me letting you know which books I do pick to read throughout the Christmas period. And now I'm just going to do a quick recap on everything that I have read over the last month and a half to 2 months. So I'm going to go and film that now. So I'll be back with you with my recap very shortly. This is my October and November reading wrap up. If you will remember, I set myself a huge TBR list to read over those 2 months, and I did not read all the books, which is not a surprise. So if you remember, these were the books that I put on my TBR list, and it was a huge pile. I knew I wouldn't get through it all, but it was fun to see how far I could get. So what I'm going to do now is show you which books I managed to read and what I thought of them. So the first set of books I decided to read was the Larkin Leather Blackbird and Bookshirt books. So I'd already read this book. I read this book sometime last year. So to start off the challenge, what I actually did was read the last chapter of this book just to remind myself how it ended. I did that. And then I read the second book. So this book I finished and I read, and I actually really enjoyed this book. It was absolutely brilliant. And then I finished this book and read the third book, and this is Scythe and a Sparrow. Now, I really loved this book because it tied in the events with this book. It was like they were intertwined, so things that you were reading in this book had happened simultaneously in this book. So I really thought that was a great concept to do it. So I'm really proud that I actually finished the whole series of that. So they were the first 2 books that I managed to read. I then decided I would try and get through the Thursday Murder Club collection, and I read 2 out of the 4 books that I needed to read. So I read The Man Who Died Twice, and I managed to read and finish The Bullet That Missed. This was the final book of the month. I actually finished it bang on the 30th of October. It was the very last book I had to read. So I read these 2 books, and I still have 2 more books left in the Thursday Murder Club series to read. Then I attempted to start As Good as Bad by Holly Jackson, which is the follow-on from A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and as you can see, I literally have read like 1 chapter, if that. I didn't get very far in this because I got a bit sick of reading the physical books, and I can't read the physical books when it's dark and at night time in bed, which brings me to the next books. So that was the other one that I was supposed to read, but I didn't read it. And then I had these 2 books as bonus books on my list. Now, I didn't read them, not these books, but what I did read on an evening when I went to bed, that's the time where I like to sit and read my Kindle. And on my Kindle, I read 2 books. Instead of the 2 bonus books, I read 2 books on my Kindle. Now, the first book that I read was The Silent Patient. I did have the book in physical, but I've currently given it to my mum. I enjoyed that book. It was fantastic. The twist at the end, I did not see coming. And I get quite good at guessing the twist for books nowadays, thanks to Freida McFadden. But I didn't see that one coming, and it was so good. I knew that my mum would like it. So my physical book is currently with my mum, but I had a copy on the Kindle, which I read on a night time. And then the second book that I read on my Kindle was Layla by Colleen Hoover. And again, that was absolutely fantastic. It was so twisty and so weird, and I was convinced at some point that I had completely worked out the entire book, and I was very wrong. I was very, very wrong and so far off the mark, but it was a fantastic book, and it was something very different, because all the Colleen Hoover books that I've currently read are like the romance type, and this was like paranormal. It was about ghosts and otherworldly realms, and it was just brilliant, and it fit perfectly into my October, November spooky read along. So instead of the 2 bonus books, I read those 2 books on my Kindle. Personally, I don't think I did that bad. I had a total of 11 books on my list, and I managed to read 4 physical books and 2 Kindle books. So that's 6 books out of the 11 books that I managed to actually read. So for me, I think that's really good. And I had great fun reading spooky books during the spooky seasons. Now I have a task of picking my Christmas books, as it is now December. Hence the super cute Christmas pyjamas are all out now. So yeah, what we're going to be doing now is picking some books for the Christmas season, and I'll get them picked out and I'll post that video very, very soon. But that was just a quick wrap-up video, guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for cheering me on with this hugely ridiculous TBR list that I set myself. So I don't count this as a fail, because I knew I wouldn't read 11 books. So I think 6 books is really good for me. So yeah, that's it. I will catch you all in another video very soon, and I hope you're all getting ready for Christmas, and we will start posting some Christmas content throughout December. I'll see you all in another video.